Welcome, welcome everyone to another episode of PinTech Live, our guest tech series. We're back at Lynn's and we're going to be starting very soon, so hang tight. We're live. We're really, really live. So let's go. Hello,
What's up?
everybody. We're back for another episode of PinTech Live. This is Post-Seaside Champ III, the epic tournament battle you guys had. 4 days of chaos at Lynn's. It looks so nice and calm there now. How did the weekend
Yeah,
go?
it went really well. It was very, very fun. It was like 40 plus hours of streaming. Uh, yeah, six tournaments crammed into 4 days. It was very, very fun, very long, lots of people. Our strikes night
Are
on
you recovered yet? You
not
look like you
fully.
still need a few more days of naps.
Yeah, it's like of non-social interaction. It's a lot of people over a lot of time. Uh, so the social meter's a little low, but yesterday I was feeling better, back getting back into it. So yeah, definitely takes a few days
Nice.
after to recover.
Absolutely. What's like the big highlights from the weekend?
Um, I mean, Thursday night we were expecting around like 35, 40 people probably, but we had like over 60 playing 30 in Thursday night strikes. So we had like a 60 person Thursday night strikes, and then the Friday more like the early tournament was another like 62 players, and then the Friday night tournament was like 69 players, and then Sunday or Saturday's qualifying was the full 72. So just the turnout alone was a big, like for those first opening tournaments, we didn't expect that. And I was seeing people from like LA and San Francisco and all over, like already in town and ready to play and have fun. And it was insane. Um, there were some really cool close games. I had a fun close game on like NBA Fast Break. Um, it was like going into ball three. I was player four, ball three, and like we were the last game being played, so everyone's standing at the bar like watching this game go down. And I was like, oh crap, like I gotta walk up to this game with everybody watching,
Gotta
and
perform.
gotta perform. And I was at like 32 points or something like that, and Andre was at like 72, and I think uh, Dustin was at like 66, and then Matt Rowbottom was at like 44 or something like that. So I was like, all right, I just got to get to 44. I don't want to get last on this game. I just got to get to 44. And then I ended up starting a multi-ball somewhere in there. Uh, drains out the left out, like the last ball drains out the left out lane. And I was like, damn it. And I like turned to walk away, but I guess I had a ball save on it.
Oh
And
no,
it
don't
kicked it
walk
back
away.
out up into the pop bumpers. And I'd run over and I'd look and I was like, oh shit, and like jump back on the game. Comes out of the pops and I like flip up into Bob's and get trivia. And I
Oh
was
no,
at
not the trivia.
I was at like
How's your
64.
NBA trivia going?
Not yeah, like not good. I don't know any of them. But I was at I was at 64 points and Andre's at 72. And then it like gave me the question and was like, who's um the one NBA player that also won a Heisman Trophy? And I like flipped through the answers and I was like, Charlie Ward sounds familiar. Like pick it, and it was right. And so I got 74, 2 points over Andre, was able to like walk off with a trivia question. It was crazy.
Wow.
And then in the finals, in the final three games, he had picked NBA again, and uh, Leslie Ruckman did the exact same thing. That happened twice in one weekend where someone won on their ball three, player four on trivia. Like that's just nutball. So it was really funny that I spun around and was just like, yeah, like holy crap. And everyone's like cheering and they're like, did you know the answer? I was like, no. Full honesty, I was like, I had no idea. It was just a shot in the dark guess, you know.
That's gonna be the
But
new thing. You have to learn all the trivia questions.
yeah, I got him. Yeah. And then that's where like Greg looked at me and he's like, you don't have all these memorized yet? I was like, no, no, I don't. Like, when
I
do
wonder
I
if
ever
there's a
play
place where,
NBA?
yeah, where someone wrote out all the trivia questions for Fast Break. Do you think they put something like that in the manual,
I don't know. That's a good
like
question.
answers for it? Or maybe there's
Right.
a forum where someone, like
Someone's got
PinTech,
to have posted
has
it
all of them.
somewhere. Yeah, they got to be somewhere. Like someone has to know them. I know Greg has them memorized, so I can just ask him and write them all out. Give
Oh
them to
yeah,
me.
how many are there? Yeah, I wonder if he knows. I
I
wonder,
think
could you
Tim,
do that for who done it?
right?
Like memorize the order of who the killers are? I wonder how random that is.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Huh.
Tim Hansen was funny because we have the chat like sitting on the thing. And he's like, can I like phone a friend if I get trivia? Can I ask chat? Like, what's the answer? Have him type it in real quick.
Can you?
No, no, that's cheating.
It could be as long as you get 30 seconds or
It was
something.
like craning my neck to hear if anyone behind me said anything as I flipped through the names.
Oh
It was
yeah.
like no clues. Damn it, no Charlie Ward.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
PinTech
fun.
reboot. What's up, Berg Bookie? We need to get you on the show. And
Yeah,
who won the main tournament? The big one.
Andre got crowned the third Seaside champ. Andre Matsenkoff.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was good. The games were brutal. I had a Tim Hansen was playing Monster Bash, and he was like the ball just like grazed the slingshot and just sent it out the right out lane. And I was like, yeah, like perfect, like exactly what I want to hear. And then we ended up playing it together late, like in a different, might have been a different tournament. I don't even remember. I don't know if it was qualifying again, but it did the same thing to me. Like it just grazed that thing, just sent it flying out. And I was like, oh man, damn. And I turn around and Tim's standing right there with his arms crossed, just smiling, just laughing. And he was like, you did that. And I was like, yes, I did. Yes, yes, I did. And I was like, that's safe. Like I have to deal with the same stuff I do to these things. So it's all part of the game. And I set them up a certain way. And Metallica was eating people
Made them
alive all
hard.
weekend, made it
Oh
really
yeah.
hard. But then again, and like I think I got it in it was like the first round of qualifying on Saturday, and it was me, Michael, Scott, and I can't remember the fourth player, but we were all like 8, 9, 10 million maybe, and then Scott put up like 90 million, just like beat it up, started like all three of the multi balls, got into crank it up, everything. And I was like, it's doable. Like, like it's doable. It's there. Like, you just don't, if you miss, you're screwed. It's going to
Just
punish
don't
you.
miss. Yeah.
Just don't miss. If you make your shots, you'll be fine. Um, but yeah, it was great. Andre won, I think, Friday night tournament and Saturday, and then the Seaside. He won Seaside Champ, so he won Target Match Play and Seaside Champ.
Wow.
I think John Tracy won the Fair Strikes, and Dustin won pin golf. I got second in pin golf. Got to take home some hardware for my own weekend.
Congrats.
Got fifth overall in Seaside Champ. So I missed top four by a playoff game on Dolly, but it was like Tim Hansen, Leslie Ruckman, and I all tied in our quote, semifinals.
Tough
So we had
groups.
to do a one game playoff on Dolly. It was tough. The players here, it was like you look at the top 24 in California, we had like 6 or 8 of them here. And then the rest of the people are still savage players. Like it was incredible. Yeah, the turnout was good.
Amazing. Base Tone in the chat said they're coming to Lynn's tomorrow afternoon.
Hey, right on. We'll see you tomorrow
Yeah.
afternoon. Coming to Monterey for the Christmas weekend.
Ah,
Good spot
nice.
to be.
Oh yeah, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas to
Yeah.
y'all.
Merry Christmas.
So how did your games fare
They
in
fared really well. Like there was some weirdness. It's like the way we had it set up to having the other tournaments before the main made it so they could kind of get a good stress test going
Okay.
into the main qualifier for Seaside Champ. So like Thursday night, a couple weird things happened. Friday night, a couple like I think Friday night, Fireball had gone down and No Fear had gone down, and Tron's drop target stopped working, and Rick and Morty's one of the flippers died, all like Friday night. So I got here early Saturday, put in an all tech board into Fireball,
Nice.
and then it worked. Everything worked for the most part until on Fireball 2 until um, like the last game in qualifying. It on Saturday, it lost its mind a little bit and like went from player 3 was playing, they drained out the right out lane, it clicked over to player 4, gave the bonus to player 4, and then when it drained, it went up to player 1. It's just like completely lost its brain. And then now I turn it on and it won't boot. So I'm like, yeah, we got to look at that. We're going to get to that here in a minute. No
Yeah, that's
Fear.
a tricky one.
Yeah, it was a trippy one. So No Fear, it was blowing a fuse. And so I'd put a new fuse in it and it would play a game and then pop the fuse again. Went into switch test, figured out that there's opto's up on the upper ramp. So when you hit the ramp, it ends up hitting an opto, and then a magnet takes it and throws the ball at speed up and around. And that
Okay.
opto was like flickering. So what it was doing was thinking that there was a ball there. So that magnet was just sticking on and then um, popping the fuse. So I just cleaned them out. Like I checked the wires on them, they were still tight. I cleaned them, and then that issue stopped. And then another issue popped up where the drop target wasn't working. And I was just like, just turn it off. I'll get to it like on tomorrow morning. Like I did that Friday night, and then later on Friday night, the drop target stopped working. So I pop open the play field and I go into switch test, and I'm hitting the switch for the drop target, and it drops down and hits the switch. And it's like intermittent. Like I'll click it, it won't work. I'll click it, it'll work. I'll click it, it won't work. Work, not work, not work. So I yanked it out and threw it in the art box, put a new one in, and then it worked fine. And then it played the rest of the weekend solid.
Nice.
Tron was a funny one because the drop targets went down, but they wouldn't pop back up and they weren't scoring. So I went into switch test, dropped them down, and sure enough, they weren't hitting. So I pulled up the play field and I checked the connector on that, and it's a opto board.
Mhm.
So that made me think it wasn't in line with any other switches. So I kind of like checked that board. I went up to the main board and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I ended up going to Stern and looking up the manual online, and I went to the switch matrix, and sure enough, it actually does share wires with Zeus. So the Z and the U and Zeus. So it kind of daisy chains off of the drop target connector and goes into the Z, and then the Z goes to U, and then the U goes on to something else. So I went in there and I was just kind of like started kind of tugging on wires on the switches on those, and sure enough, one of them on the U was just like popped off, like barely, because it was like intermittent. They'd work every now and again, so it was just like enough to like kind of make connection, and then it would rattle a little bit and make not connection, and then they'd pop back up and then kind of rattle it back into place again. I soldered it back on and good to go.
So it
Um,
was the drop target bank over here was not working. Everything looked okay. You sourced it on the switch matrix to find that it was connected to another bank. And
to
then
another
that's
switch
where there was
altogether.
to another switch. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And
So like
then,
drop target banks over here, and
right.
then the Z and the U are on either side of the left ramp. And the U was like you'd hit the U and it would work. You'd hit the Z, it would work. But the one connector that was daisy chained over to the drop targets was broken off. So the drop targets weren't getting signal, basically saying that they were up or down. It's trippy stuff. Like it's like funny how they all like a lot of these things like on Rick and Morty I've had, or TNA. Um, I had an issue where like was a drop target, like one of the drop targets on the right wasn't registering, and I had to like there was no switch matrix online, so I just went through the whole game and I was just tugging on wires on different switches, and the switch all the way on the far left of the playfield, like completely on the other side, had one wire like barely broken off dangling, and soldered it back on. Now this drop target works. And I'm like, let's go. It's just things all connect, you know. And so that's I've learned that before too. Also, when you have like intermittent ones where like all like one of my uh, diagnosing techniques is going to switch test, and then I bang on the playfield and I see if anything pops up. So if like I bang on it and it'll bing and like it's something will pop up, I'll find out what switch that is in the switch matrix, pull the playfield up, go to that switch, and most likely it's either a diode is like loose or a wire is loose, and you solder them back on to make solid contact, and then the problem goes away. So it's a lot of that kind of stuff where you're just like, how is this broken? And then oh yeah, the left slingshot on Tron was not working as well. It like it would just hit and not fire, and it wouldn't go into like in switch test, so you wouldn't be able to see them. So I go in there, and sure enough, there was a diode that was just like barely broken off and like almost touching. And so like the other slingshot would kick and then it would touch, and then it would kick on itself,
Right.
kick the ball, and
Yeah.
then it would like pop away again. So then it would stop working, and it was just little things that just don't make connection, and all of a sudden you're losing stuff. And then Rick and Morty was just a wire came off of um the coil on the flipper. So we just like soldered it back on, and then it was good. But that was majority of that was like Friday night. So I was able to get them all solid for Saturday. And then how we ran the qualifying was I have an A bank and a B bank. So I have like a classic bank and a modern bank. And so in between rounds, no one could play games either. So it's like you play your game and then you go hang out outside or whatever. So it gives like, if you're on bank B, it gives bank A that time to like cool down and chill out, not be played.
Yeah.
And so they really, each bank only had to go like 6 games on for qualifying. And then Saturday night, it was like 4-player groups on like freaking everything. And everything was getting hot and like, yeah, and just
Some
getting
hot
beat up.
coils.
Yeah. So like Evil Knievel was an EM. It like reset, like it blipped out and then came back on. And it's like, why did you like, I understand like the solid state's doing that, but like an EM, I've never seen like just like dip and then come back. And I think it's probably to do with the amount of people that were in here and like every single game being played at once and the music being on
Mm.
and streaming, and it's just like power draw. And just like finally the power is just like like can't just gonna hiccup for a second. It's weird.
And it
Very
still
weird.
played fine afterwards.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It played fine. But weird things, little weird things. And then yeah, Sunday was a top seeds in each group got to pick 3 games, so like it was spaced out and like nobody was playing them. And then the one whole wall when you walk in on the left was all pin golf. So we have 9 holes of
Cool.
pin golf over there, and people could play that until finals were over at 4. Or the final 3 games started at 4, and then I just turned the games off next to the final games, and then people could just go off. I was like, I don't need these games anymore. Just play, go for it.
Oh, that's awesome. Keep the party
Yeah,
going.
yeah. Yeah, it was late nights and early mornings for 3 days. Yeah, 4 days. It's fun. It's a good time. How'd your tournament go?
My tournament went really good. This is our third monthly that we've done at Captain Crazy's. We had 22 players this time, which
Nice.
is it's growing. We had quite a few new to pinball first time tournament players, which was
Wow.
really exciting. Like our actual locals that have been coming to the arcade, once a week or whatever to play. I finally got them to have enough courage to join us in a fun event, and I think they had a good time.
Nice.
The kid who won is Zach's someone. He's new to pinball. This was his very second tournament. He played in Free Play, Florida. He's somewhere in
Oh, wow.
Central Florida and drove several hours out here to play with us. And I
Sweet.
don't know how old. He must be like 18 years old. He's a youngin', and
Yeah.
he slayed 0 strikes and just
Holy
was
smoke.
literally on fire the entire time. And he
Nice.
was like, "This is my second tournament ever." We're like, dude. And he was getting good scores, high scores. Um,
Nice.
but as far as my successes with pinball teching, luckily I had Andrew Barney there that weekend.
Oh, nice.
So I had that kind of confidence of knowing I had a professional tech with me just in
Hmm.
case I couldn't figure it out. Um, the issues we had was one, Aztec was not the switch for advancing bonus was not working, so that killed both the switch and the rollover for advanced bonus.
Oh no.
I lifted that playfield up, and the wire on the switch had disconnected. So we soldered that on. But then it was now, as it was advancing bonus, when it would get to like 6 or 7 thousand, whatever those increments are, it would light both of them at the same time. So it'd go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it'd go 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9
Whoa.
together. So we checked out the uh, what do
Like the
you
little
call it?
spider.
Yeah, this I know that's what I wanted
Yeah.
to call it.
Yeah.
The actual term, the copper spider, and it was like slightly misaligned. So when it got to that part, it was not hitting those contacts. So
Uh,
we unscrewed the bolt, realigned it, and then it worked. It solved that issue.
nice.
However, Aztec now remains on a new issue list. It played fine for the tournament once I realized this other issue came up, but when it goes to do a four-player game, um, when it gets to the fourth player and it ends ball on player four, it just stays on player four forever.
Yeah, it's more
It never
little
switches
stepper
back to
units.
player one. Yeah, so
Huh.
I think it's another, yeah, stepper unit or something issue I gotta get in and look at. But for the sake of time, we just put a note on saying play one player games on Aztec,
Yeah, that
and
works.
that made
You can
it
do that
run
in tournament too.
smoothly.
Like we've done that on EMs during
Yeah.
tournaments just because tilt throughs can happen, and so you just play one
Yeah,
player
and all
games.
my other EMs right now are all one player games anyway, so it
Hmm.
worked out that that one became a one player as
Hmm.
well. After like right after the tournament, Lord of the Rings went down. The left flipper stopped working. Luckily, that was a nice, fun, easy one. Just the wire came off of the switch, so I soldered that back on, and that one was good. Um, Harley Davidson had an issue near the end of the tournament, which didn't affect the tournament, and I fixed it after, which the motorcycle stopped coming up and down.
Oh, well.
Um, So actually, it might have been the very one of the very last games of the tournament, and I ended up having to switch them. But they it was coming up, balls got trapped in it, and then like all the balls are missing. You're like, where did the balls go? Oh, they're
It
stuck
just
under
ate
the
them
Harley
all.
bike. It just ate them all. So we lifted that up and looked at it, and it was really just like dirty optos.
Mhm.
And there's like a row of them. So or no, are they optos in that? No, they're just regular switches. So they're micro switches. So
Mhm.
they're the dirty little white micro switches. I pulled those out, cleaned them up with some contact cleaner spray, and let them dry and put them in, and it's good to go.
Nice.
And then my last success was something with Star Wars. Star Wars, it would the ball would come up missing, and it actually became very serendipitous. I fixed the plunger that was in the lower left scoop. That was the
Hmm.
one that you had told me at the very beginning, like when we opened the arcade, you're gonna have to
You need this
replace this at
bracket.
some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I had that piece on me on my cart this entire time, just kind of waiting for that moment. And then it was like, oh, this is the moment. It's not working. So I went ahead and swapped that out, and then another further back, whatever scoop was messed up too. And again, it was just literally tugging on some wires, not finding anything, kind of looking around everywhere, re-tugging on wires, and then finding just that one little one that just was loose and dangling and just needed that right little
Yeah.
way to wiggle out of that cold solder
Yeah.
or whatever. So I found it was good because nothing except the Aztec left questionable. So I was able to get all the
Nice.
games back up and running before I headed home to Arkansas, and yeah, it was good.
Very good.
Yeah, we were very
Nice work.
successful. It felt good to be able to see an issue, look for it, troubleshoot it, find out what you think it is, execute the repair, and then get the game back up and running. And I'm so new to all of this, so it's very rewarding. Every little tiny repair is like the hugest victory ever. It feels so good.
You don't, it doesn't
Like,
ever really
yes,
go
I get
away.
it, got it working.
Like
Yeah.
that feeling of just like, yes. Some of them are very much more
Hey,
challenging and it's
game.
very frustrating for a long time until you figure it out. But then when you figure it out, yeah, it's a good feeling every time. Every time.
I definitely feel the building the confidence in it though, because
Mhm.
if a game's not working, it's like as a newcomer, it becomes like instant panic and anxiety.
Mhm.
But now that's kind of like decreased of being like, I know when I lift the playfield up, there's a practical, for the most part, a
For the
practical
most part.
reason for why this is
Hmm.
not working. Now, when it gets to like up into the board and like what we're about to look at with Fireball, then the mysteries are a bit
Yeah.
harder to solve.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm still figuring that part out. There's some things on board work that I know that I understand and I know, but when it comes into like, you know, is this chip grounded? I'm like, oh shit. So finding that on the schematic and where you how you test that if it is grounded or not. Um, Most of the time I just send boards off to get worked on by professionals. But like, if a coil locks on, then I know it's a transistor. I can find that transistor. I can take that
mm,
transistor out, put a new one in. I can put a new diode in. Like that level I get. I've done it on Stearns. I've done it on Bally's, um, and then sometimes it's like these boards are so old. A lot of people repair the like power driver boards, but
mhm.
with Alltech having all the new stuff, at least you're getting all new electronics in there and not ones from the 80s
Right.
that have been sitting around and kind of rotting most of the time, especially if they're not
Replace
being
it with
played.
replace it with a new board, but don't trash the old board because you could
No.
probably save it later when you have a little bit more time. That
Hmm.
goes
And
for
I have a
anyone.
stack of I have so many boards.
You never know.
Never know. But yeah.
Yeah. This the other thing too, like as daunting as board work is, there's still a level for a noob of awareness, like you were saying with the transistors being related to the
Hmm.
coils, but just like, okay, I am under the game. There's no loose wires, there's no switches that look weird or anything doesn't look broken. And now I'm going to the boards. I can now instantly check to see if there's like connectors that look burnt is a
Hmm.
big thing. Connectors that are loose. I think that was on one game, pre-tournament where it was just like, why isn't this working? Oh, just snap that connector back in a little bit tighter, and there you
Yeah.
go, J10 all the way. But then also, without having to get into the super technical, just taking the board off and
Hmm.
looking at the back of it, and a
Hmm.
lot of the problems that were solved when we first started getting my arcade ready was just you could instantly tell on the back of the board where the problem is because you see like the worst soldering job ever that someone else before us came and did, and
Hmm.
you're like, I bet the issue is somewhere with this area, and it
Something
kind of
that
hones it in a little
uh,
bit, like that's definitely cold solder or.
something that Dry does every time he gets an older game is pull the boards, flips them over, desolders all the pins across the like main connectors, and then flows fresh solder across everything.
No
And
joke.
it's just to like on every major connector, he just flips it over, just like takes off that, puts on new stuff, and does all of them. and then puts it back in. And if he needs to, he'll repin all the Molexes as well and like give them fresh connection and fresh, you know, a freshen up, just so that way he knows in his mind at least everything there is like going out and going in the way it's supposed to. Um,
Mm.
and then if it's messing up from there, then he knows it's a deeper issue on the board. But that's just kind of like a basic one first thing you want to do. Like he did it on his like Flight 2000 or whatever. And he pulled the boards out and was just like, no. And you could like, you have your like magnifying glass or whatever, and you can look at all the connections. He's like, there's like a cold solder point there. There's one there. I had a board out and I was showing it to him and he just pointed right out. He's like, that's cold right there. That's cold right there. I was like, holy shit.
Oh man.
You
You know,
just see like the little pockets and cracks and
if we get him to Texas Pinball Festival, it would be cool if he jumped in on our seminar of,
yeah, for sure.
how to set up a used game and have him do
Mhm.
like his TED Talk version of like
Yeah.
the advanced level of when you get a new old game. That's
Yeah. I can't remember. I
dedication.
think it was his Twilight Zone.
Makes sense.
I went over to it. He was like, I have this box of parts from Twilight Zone. And it was basically like every mech, like why, like he rewired it. He pulled every living thing off of that game and replaced it. And so it's this box, like plastic container with just everything to build a Twilight Zone essentially in it. It's like, oh my God, man. I think he'd like reran like why, like he redid like wire harnesses and like he just did all of it. And I mean, it shows on his game. It's
Wow.
beautiful and perfect and
Yeah, it plays like brand new at that
what
point.
brand new. Yeah, absolutely brand new. It's but to look in that box and I'm like, wow, dude, like you pulled everything off of the game.
Hope you took
But
pictures.
yeah, lots of pictures. Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
that level is just that's a bit much. I'll take everything off the top and I'll take things off the bottom one at a time, but to just like strip it both sides, I'm like, ugh. That's
That's
scary.
scary. Yeah.
That's very
That's
scary.
scary.
That's a level that's
But
beyond me. Like,
power
nah.
to him. Super
Yeah,
restorer.
yeah.
Um,
I think you redid
awesome.
the cabinet too, like everything, just everything.
Did he put new gumballs in the gumball machine?
Mhm.
Hello, Phil. Thanks for joining us. It's called a labor of love, says Dent. Yep,
Yeah, yeah, straight up.
indeed.
Like it is.
Indeed.
I've said this before to people, I think it was Dustin on Sunday said it. He's like, "How do you keep this going? Like, how do you do this?" And I was like, "You have to love it. Like, if you don't love doing this, like, you're gonna just get eaten up. Like, this is definitely a labor of love. It's definitely passion. And if you don't love doing it, like, I wouldn't recommend opening an arcade and running tournaments with 70 plus people for 4 days."
You're in the entertainment business now,
That's right.
boy.
That's right. Straight up.
hmm Absolutely. Well, let's jump into
Well,
Fireball. Let's see
yeah,
what's
let's
going
see
on with this beast. Can you
see
turn
what we
on
can do.
your rig lighting? Do you got rig lighting that you
They're on.
can? Is it? Oh man,
Yeah.
everyone everyone was like, he's so dark.
That one.
Turn up that brightness or something.
Oh, I can turn it. That's what I can do. Turn that knob. How's that?
Sorry,
Better?
this game is out of service currently, but maybe we can change that on this episode. We'll see. You
We'll
guys have
see.
nice signs. I have not
Yeah,
custom
we
made
had
my out of service signs yet. It's still that
that was
generic arcade with the thermometer in his mouth.
yeah.
Whoever made that is my hero. We should all
Yeah,
get
it was
tattoos of that.
Melina, one of our league members and ladies league member. She made that for us. She made a bunch of them. And
Nice.
then I just took them over and got them all laminated.
Very cool. Happy
Ooh,
holidays to you too, Pinball 122, and everybody else. This is our last PinTech Live before Christmas. Hope you guys got all your pinball shopping done. And if not, use the code down below. Everybody needs a bunch of rubbers and balls in their life. Clean ones.
clean ones.
Stocking stuffers. Clean balls and fresh rubbers are the best stocking stuffers. And you can
Yeah.
buy them on our website at marcopinball.com.
Oh, you were talking about how that kid that was playing in your tournament was like 18. And that
Yeah, I think
reminded
so.
me, it reminded me that like the top, um, oh, I think I might
a
have figured
hundred
it out.
dollars worth of balls. Thanks, Rob. Yeah,
The
stock
top
up on
in the
balls.
top five on the IFPA right now, they're all like under 20 years old.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Well, is Escher on that? Is he under 20
Asher's Asher's 20, at least according to IFPA.
still?
He's 20 years. Yeah, he's 20
Yeah.
years old. But then the next guy down is like 15 or something like that. Number two, 15 years old.
It's amazing. They have good memory and fast reaction times. If you
So
have kids, get them playing
get him
pinball
playing
now. They
pinball.
could be
Yeah,
professional pinball
pinball
players as their
players.
career. Uh,
There's no way to keep this there because there's a giant space there. But I see a blown fuse.
you see a blown fuse already?
I
Well,
see a blown
that's a
fuse.
fun start.
That might be our issue.
You change the fuse, the game boots up. We're like, yay, it's
Yay,
done. The
we're
show's
done.
over, y'all. Time to pack up some games. Ooh, all
Yeah.
right. Check this out. Berg Bookie, an awesome tech in Ohio. You're in Ohio, right? Ish area. He said, I just repaired a Fireball Classic in a home last week. So
Oh, no
many
way.
unrelated issues. Shorted GI, super faint sound, wrong flipper coils, oh man,
Oh my
broken
gosh.
mushroom target, disintegrated rubbers, on and on. That sounds like a fun job. Long job.
Jeez.
It's yeah, it's just a fuse. Well, I hope you got them
Hopefully.
all up and running, Bookie.
That's,
Phil says 5-volt fuse.
is it slow blow or fast blow? I
Mm.
think it's a slow blow. That's what I'm checking for. It says 5 amp on it, but
I would guess slow blow, but let's see if anyone in the chat knows.
yeah.
And
Let's see what
also,
they
we do have the manual. Slow, says Phil.
slow blow. Slow blow.
One day I'll figure out how we can do a triple stream and we'll have both of y'all working on games at the same
Yeah.
moment.
That'd be awesome. Slow blow.
We'll start doing tech parties. Everyone just gets online. Everyone just works on their games at the same time and we just keep each other entertained and accountable. And like when you get stuck, you just yell out, is it slow blow or fast blow on Fireball 2? And then one of the many texts in the voice chat will be like, oh yeah, slow. He needs one of Kyle's homemade circuit breakers. Yeah. Don't you have one of those circuit breaker things?
I do.
Those, yeah, I think you showed it to me
I
before.
do. I have a
I need
3 amp
one.
version.
Oh, so it only works up to 3 amps?
3, and then it pops. Yeah.
I see.
If I don't have a 5 amp run new. Look somewhere else.
Uh-oh. I think I have a 5 amp in my pocket. That sounds
Oh, there
weird.
we go. I had them in the. I just hadn't loaded them into the box yet.
Yeah, distance learning tech party with pizza. Yeah, everyone has to
Yeah.
bring their own pizzas.
Yeah.
Pinball Scientist sells the whole setup up to 20 amps. Ooh, gotta look at that.
Oh, they do? Yeah.
Yes.
Put that link in there. I want to see that.
Yeah. Circuit breaker. Yeah, let me see if I could find a link, y'all, and then maybe we're gonna be talking to the pinball scientists so we can carry that on our website too. I think we are starting to do some fun stuff with them. So it's cool. Super cool people.
Dropping pinballs. Okay,
Man, they got some cool stuff on here. They have EM Scorekeeper OLED display, and it's literally your score on the apron
Whoa.
and a little tiny digital score on your apron. That is cool. Or an
That's really
LCD
cool.
version. The resettable circuit breaker. Low stock. The pinball lamp tester kit. Oh,
Yeah, I have it somewhere.
oh yeah, that's why I remember it. Because they have the world's most affordable Molex pin remover tool. That's a great Christmas gift. Do you know
Moment
about
of
the
truth.
world's most affordable Molex pin remover tool?
I do not.
It's a paper clip. So they just have like you just holding up a paper clip. Nicely packaged.
Well, we're back. We are back.
The EM
Cool.
grounding kit. Ooh.
It was just a fuse. It was an easy one. Don't know why it blew. That's the question. But it's back up. Another
Yay.
issue
I missed the money
is,
shot. Do it again. I'm over here shopping on the pinball scientist. Oh yeah,
yeah,
I'll
right.
drop this. He has low stock, but maybe you guys can find something on here. It's just a fuse until something starts smoking, says Dan.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Okie dokie. So let me see what screen we want to look at. We can do this. Let's see a score camera here. Okay, so you put in the 5 amp slow blow fuse in the bottom of the cabinet, and now the game is booting up.
So we should play it, huh? See if that actually does work.
When it is just a few.
See if we can pop the fuse again. Everyone pay attention. Let me know.
Oh, yeah. So, Mr. J. Crane, you saw the rubber corners that Matthew put on the back of his playfield,
Oh, yeah.
end of his playfield gas. Those are such vital tools. We have silicone ones, we have 3D printed ones, depending on your preference. They both work great. I'm gonna drop a link in there. You should always have 2 sets of these,
Yeah.
at least. Oh my God, that one's out of.
Yeah. Both are nice. I like the rubbery ones because they're grippy, and so the glass won't slide on my concrete floor anywhere.
I haven't had problem with my 3D printed one sliding, but I see that being very valid. GCP. Here we go. I will drop this. But you have to take them off. They can't live in the game with the lockdown bar on or anything like that. So you just have them as soon as you're taking off glass. It should just be like automatic. Put those on the edges. Like no excuses anymore, y'all. We don't want shattered glass because you set your glass down on concrete without having a set of super affordable glass corner protectors.
It'll never happen to me again.
$10 can save you several hundred.
And also just the shock of breaking one is pretty epic.
It's an explosion.
It's an
How many
explosion.
people in the chat have had pinball glass shatter all over them?
B had it happen to her at the
Yeah,
arcade.
it
I
happens
was
to everyone.
cleaning glass out of cup holders like 3 games over.
Oof, the
It
explosion
was,
is for real.
yeah, it's pretty violent.
Yeah, Berg Bookie, it looks like it was just a fuse, maybe, but we'll see what else we can get into. He said that happened to their shadow last week. No idea why it blew other than it was 30 years old and tired of being a fuse.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm
This fuse
done.
is like, I'm out, y'all. Find a replacement for me. Throw me in Emoto's art box so
Yep.
I can be immortalized. Oh no, Berg Bookie, no! It just happened to him. He had a Lord of the Rings shattered glass. I'm so sad for you. What's the easiest way to clean up shattered playfield glass? Anyone got any pin tips for that?
A deck brush, like or a bench brush from a.
Mm,
If you get it, if it's in your game, just
right.
shoot, shot
If
back,
it's in your game,
like
just what? Shot back.
shot back, take everything apart. You have to take everything apart, take everything off, like shot back the most of that you can get out of it. But then you got to take all the everything off the
Micro
top.
attachments. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
a little, yeah, and then get into there with like a car detailing kit. Like they have the little micro brushes, suck all those out, and then probably have to take a lot of the mech off the bottom, clean underneath there too, put it back because it'll go everywhere. It'll be in
Yeah, and
absolutely
then
every
look at
little
like a
crevice.
300-foot perimeter around you. It's
Yeah,
like deep
essentially, it's like
cleaning.
yeah, we've had one. I was finding glass over like by NBA because it broke like over here and it was everywhere. It went everywhere. First time I had it happen to me, I was in shorts and flip flops. I set it down. It's just like, as soon as it hit the ground, it just like disappeared out of my hands. And I was like, what? And I looked down and I'm just like shaking glass out of my shit. Scary, scary stuff.
For real. It makes a loud sound too. We've
Mm-hmm.
had it happen at a show. Poor customer at a convention center, and the echo of that sound
Uh-huh.
of that glass
Yeah.
shattering quieted the entire hall.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just like turned and looked. Oh, the Lord of the Rings wasn't Berg Bookie's, but he has had a Bobby Orr shatter on him. Oh well. Based on asked, was that fuse F4? Looks like that's the 5 amp on the rectifier.
It was I believe it was F4. Pretty
Okay,
sure.
I do. It was in the cabinet.
Yeah.
I was like, I do have the manual. I could probably
Yeah, it's on the
check it while you're doing the things, maybe.
just look again. Why not? Why not?
Erase. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Nope. So much scrolling.
Mhm. And
Oh, 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 I scrolled past it. That's not fair. My thing's laggy.
yes, F4.
Yes, F4. Confirm.
Confirmed.
I sort of had it. Yeah,
Double
actually.
confirmed.
I had just got to the page. That is correct, in fact. Just trying to look at what that feeds.
Uh,
Um,
on the MPU, it's like, I think it's the high voltage because the displays weren't popping on either. And on the MPU, it got to 5 flashes and wouldn't go past 5. And I heard the 6th flash is the driver for the, um, I read on Pinside that the 6 flash is for the displays. Could be 12 volt. Yeah, not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. I'd have to do more reading. You have to do more reading or ask somebody smarter than me that works on these things all the time. Need to reload 5
Press
amps.
Alt F4 to close your browser. Don't. You're lucky I know what that will do, because I could have totally just destroyed the stream with Alt F4.
What did that
That
do?
was like the best joke ever in computer nerd land, when that hotkey was exciting. Is that a thing?
What
Where
does
you
it
just
do?
go like, we would be in high school and be like, all right, everyone hit Alt
Just
F4.
crash
And
everything?
the teacher's like, oh, okay, that's how it fixes it. Crashes her PowerPoint presentation, and we're all like,
Oh, shit.
hackers. Or
That's
like
awesome.
you're playing an online game with people that are annoying you and they're noobs, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can get us to stop cheating if you just hit Alt F4," and they disappear from the game. Terrible. Kids are the
A
worst.
weird little dragon fist thing we can do real quick.
Ooh, Dragon
It's on
Fist.
one of my notes. I need to turn this guy.
Dragon Fist is a very rare game. Has anyone in the chat played a Dragon Fist?
Super dope old Stern.
1981 by Joe Juice Jr., who's also the designer of Bad Cats, Slugfest, Bride of Pinball. Oh, sorry. The mechanical engineer of these games. I think he designed like 2 games total in his career, and then he switched to focus on mechanics. So the games that he did design was, oh, maybe he did a little bit of both. He designed Dragon Fist, Orbiter 1.
Whoa.
Remember that game? He's definitely on my top designer list because he has all the weird ones, like Viper. What I
Viper.
would do for a
Viper is
Viper.
such a great game.
What
Oh
I
my
would
god.
do for a Viper. Catacomb, which is a pretty weird game.
Oh yeah, that's a dope game too.
Stern Lightning, which has really weird plastic art. If you guys ever seen that.
It's a
Quicksilver. He worked
it is
on
definite weirdo game.
Sharpshooter with Roger. Worked on the mechanics of Police Force, Black Knight 2000, Joker, Cyclone, the Pinbot series, Laser Lord. Yeah.
Ooh.
All like the weird Stern Electronics games. I think that was just a prototype. Beautiful though. Okay. I'm done nerding out on pinball designer history. What's happening with Dragon Fist?
The Wired form keeps popping out. It's like on these old games, they're just kind of wedged in. So I'm going to take a toothpick, break it off, put it point side up, so it's like a wedge. Stick them in there.
Catching up.
And then
So you just shoved a toothpick in the hole and shoved the wire ramp
so
in?
yeah, so I broke the toothpick off where it angles, but then I put it up, so when it goes in there, it kind of wedges, and it makes it tight in that hole again. It's not
Pointy face
super
up.
tight. it's enough to, and you can see there's a lot of people have worked on this game before me because there's like drill holes, 2, 3, where they moved this armature or like the wire form, they moved it before to get it to be in the right position and to probably not pop off anymore. But we'll work for now.
Is it rolling?
Still way too. It's rolling nice. But the thing is, it's like this is still really high, which is strange. I don't want to push it through the playfield. Because where it's supposed to run, these wire rails are supposed to run in the middle of the ball. But you get up here and it's at the top of the ball, like to the point where the ball can get stuck like that.
Oh,
So it's
gotcha.
still too high. And now I'm gonna see if I can fish out.
It's the opposite of that song. Can you take me lower?
Yeah.
Keep inside the playfield, please. Drainbow says, I played Stargazer and Quicksilver for the first time at DPO a few weeks ago. It was grand. Love them old Sterns. Yes.
Yes.
I do
Me too.
too. Meteor.
So
I gotta get a blackout now. That was Stern. Was Stern blackout? No. I guess blackout. Todd Tuckey from TNT Amusements has been doing these like 10-minute videos on individual games, and he shows like the games, he shows the cool stuff about the electronics of the game, the mechs, he goes over the rules, he goes over the history. It's super awesome. So he just did one on Blackout. Oh yeah, it's a Williams, duh. But we posted it on our Facebook. We reposted it, but you can find it on his Facebook as well. Blackout has that cool when you hit the spinner, the sound elevates. And that's why it made me think of Meteor, because that's also something that happens in Meteor. It starts out like this low decibel hum and it just keeps going to a higher pitch. So it's like
So
the
I
most
have
anxiety-inducing sounds ever. I love it. It's so visceral. All right, what are you gonna do?
So I put a washer down here.
Okay, hold on. Oh, not that one. Let me swap cameras for a second. Nice shot. Thank you. Okay, where are we looking?
I put this washer right here to block it, or block the that post from coming through the playfield. But I think that
Blackout is the cooler firepower? Oh. Is it the cooler firepower 2? Is that a thing? Oh, sorry. Fireball. There's too many pinball machines, y'all.
right there is where I need it to be. So I can put that back in now. Push out my little wedgie thing, so I'll put new ones in there. Yeah, you can see it poking through the playfield. What would happen is it'll go too far down and then the ball will hop over it. So that's why I put this guy in there to keep it from going through the playfield.
Huh. Nice. Little hacks. Warlock is the cooler blackout? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now drop you back down.
Demo man. I gotta fix my demo man reset issue.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Pain in the butt. Now we got that at the pretty much the right height. It's pretty good. Move you over here. Get you
Thank you.
at an angle that my head won't get annoyed. So
Can
yeah,
you just
it's like
become transparent?
a little bit
Uh,
high, but it's not as high as it was. Like the ball can't get under there.
that's good. Nice.
So now I just need to make it so it holds that pin in there better.
Pinball surgery.
So take about that much off. Yeah, that. Maybe a little bit more. Take off a little bit more.
Oh, right. So the stick isn't sticking
Sticking
out of the
out,
place.
but I
So the
want it
toothpick
like
isn't sticking out.
pretty much at the top for the most part. I think I need to shave it a little bit too. I don't know what the proper way of fixing this issue is. Like maybe it's getting like a larger gauge, like a 1 gauge bigger wire form. So it wedges in that hole again. Because it's not like glued in or anything. And I don't want to like put like super glue in there or something in case it like pulls the playfield apart.
So I know what Kyle would do
What would Kyle
for
do?
stuff like that. I mean, he would end up using wood glue to kind of
Mm-hmm.
recreate that to fill in that hole, and then once it's all dry, then he would drill back into it. But he used lots
He'd
of
fill it.
toothpicks, yeah, and then kind of sand it down, and then like recreating or closing that hole to be able to recreate it to the size that
Right.
you need it for some things.
HNC.
But if anyone else in the chat, what do y'all do when you are trying to get a wire form to hold in a hole that has expanded over time from the pressure? Uh, Michael
Nice and tight.
says, ML Huntsman, the rock star, says,
Oh,
cut
no,
it to length, then smash the end so it fits in better. I was gonna say,
smash
yeah,
the
because you could
end. That's a
smash
smart
the
move.
end so it's fat.
That's smart.
That is really smart. This guy. I like that. Just go ping
So
ping and
that's
make it a little mushroom end.
yeah.
Berg Bookie says epoxy in the hole with bamboo skewers.
Mm. Yeah, this was just
Nice.
cut that toothpick so it's and have it so the angle's facing up, and then now it's just like wedged and it's in there like
Mm,
nice and tight. We'll see how long it lasts, but
looks pretty good.
yeah, that's what I did to these two as well. Cool. Cool. Dragon Fist. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, I needed to change rules on some games back to from pin golf status.
What game do you like better, Dragon Fist or Black Belt? That goes for you and everyone in the
Oof,
chat. Everyone knows mine.
jeez, that's tough. I don't know. There's something very, very satisfying about ripping the spinner in Dragon Fist,
All spinner rips
and
done
then,
properly are the
but if
best.
you
Feeling.
hit it properly, not properly, if you hit it well enough, I guess. You can get all three of these drop targets down in one shot,
Ooh, yeah.
and then you can do
Raise
the
them.
same on the left side and drop all
That
these
is
down with one shot. Like
that is satisfying.
it's
It's
so
not
satisfying.
satisfying like sending your ball straight up the playfield into the guy's private
Kicking the
region to
dude,
score
kicking the
points.
dude in the nuts. Just say it, dude. Just kicking the dude in the nuts over and over again. No, I like that
No,
game too.
you're
It's a very
flinging
fun
balls
game.
at us now. ML Huntsman, he likes Dragon Fist better. There. I don't expect many to say black belt, but I just seen if some of
I
y'all
love
are
it.
out
I
there.
love that game. I love that game. Um,
It's so campy.
anything else have a sign on it? No. I did all this work to get
Yes.
them prepped up for everything, and everything's good.
Yes, let me adjust my camera for my chat. Our oh no, the lag loves me. Our guest tech today is MFP Matt. That is correct. We have Matthew Talley here, co-owner and lead master technician of Lynn's Arcade, showing
Did
us how to
notice
work on games.
something on this yesterday,
And we are
and I'm
looking at.
wondering if there's magnet transformers.
Ooh, so pretty.
And I'm wondering if the balls are magnetized. Because what's happening, there's no magnets in this game
What
though.
does your QR code go to? Is that where you like if your game's
Oh,
not
this was
working?
no, this was Scorebit when we had Scorebit and everything.
Oh,
Yeah, we kind of pulled them all out because it was yeah, lots of random little stuff that they're addressing, like they're
mm-hmm.
figuring it out. Um, but it was just too much. Like if you swap the game out, um, you had to pull the Scorebit out, put it in the game that you're putting in, reprogram it to that game, and then like your scoreboard was to reset the scoreboard took us like 2 hours. It was there was but a lot of weird little stuff that they're addressing that we gave them all notes on. We told them
Sure.
all about like we love Scorebit, but I heard they
Yeah,
got a bunch of cool new stuff coming out for it. So I'm excited to see what they do because Stern
absolutely.
Insider's rad, and if
We
they were
just
able
want
to
more games than just the Stern games. That's the
right,
only
that's it.
issue.
And so like if they can
Everyone
work
at my
together
arcade
somehow and
is like, why aren't my police force scores showing up on that cool TV? And I'm like, "Eh, I know,
yeah, and like
I know.
I
Oh yeah. Hello,
someone asked
Michael.
me,
Michael Huntsman wants you to know that he says hi to you,
hi Michael.
but he also said hi to me too. So we're equally cool.
Everyone's cool in Michael's book. Um,
He's the rock star, man.
yeah, straight up. Mm-mm-mm.
Okay.
What were you just talking about?
We want all games to be able
Oh
to go on
yeah,
a leaderboard at our arcade.
yeah. So someone had asked me if I had, I think you did, if I had a leaderboard up, and I'm like, no, because I have like 6 games with leaderboards and Stern Insider connected, and I have 34 other ones. I don't want them to feel left out.
You should do it anyway because then you can run a fun monthly on just Stern games.
No,
And Stern will send you some awesome swag to provide
I don't
for
want to
those winners.
exclude all the really cool games from my monthly tournaments. We have a lot of cool shit.
It's like a side quest.
Yeah, okay.
It's the
That's fine.
Stern leaderboard side quest.
The
If you can
Stern
be
Leaderboard
number
Challenge.
one on the leaderboard by the end of the month, then you get
Get a
something. It
Captain
could just
Crazy's
be street
t-shirt.
cred. Yes, that's what I do. Mine is if you can beat my dad's #1 high score by the end of the month and you're #1 on there, I will give you a t-shirt.
Nice.
One t-shirt per person because it ends up being like the top 5 is all the same person. And they're like, I
Right.
want 5 t-shirts right now. And I'm like,
No,
I'm sorry. That
can't do
hurts
that.
me. I'll give you one shirt. Uh,
That you and not.
CNK, yes. I don't know exactly what you're talking about because that was random, but yes, I agree. I don't know. CNK just, was there anything else? Just came on was like, I was going to vote this year too, but who cares now? Sad face. Like, we were
Oh,
talking about voting, but yes,
sure.
I will agree with you. Um, Base Tone said, I just got my second game set up. Yay, congratulations. And got the insider operator account set up yesterday. Yay.
Nice.
Planning on setting up leaderboard soon. Yay. See, that's how you do it. You gotta follow through all the way to the actual leaderboard. See?
You're not my
Um,
supervisor.
oh yeah. Um, auto exec dot bat. What a name. I wish they would open up the leaderboard functionality up to homeowners.
You can't do it with a
Oh,
homeowner?
I think there is a home leaderboard now. And if
That,
there's
yeah,
not
that
a home leaderboard, I'm sure that's coming. There's so
gotta be
many
another.
updates that are going to be coming on Stern Insider Connected, y'all. Like everything you're wishing and hoping for, I guarantee you, Stern has heard you and Stern has thought about this themselves too, because there's very intelligent people working behind the scenes on that program. And they just launched their app. So if you have not downloaded the app yet, go ahead and do it. It makes things super seamless and easy when you just have an app right there on your phone. And so then
Oh, I
now
have
that the
not
app
done
is
that.
launched, they can start adding in all those wonderful features. It just takes time
Yeah, all
and
this takes so much work.
patience from
Jesus.
us and support, moral
It's just,
support. Oh
I was
yeah,
having
CNK.
intermittent
I figured as much,
issues.
and I feel you, bro. It's stupid and sad.
Mhm.
And I will continue to focus on pinball tech
Positive.
stuff because this is awesome. We're working on games and making them work so people can play them, and at the end of the day, that makes everybody happy. And that's what I'm here for.
Having intermittent issues where be playing mid ball and it would just drain. Like we'd be playing, the ball would be
Because
up
you're
here
not
and it would
good.
just like kill the, it'd be killing the, yeah, I suck. It
You're
would kill the
playing and then
flippers and just like, it would just die like randomly. Like the ball would be like hitting the left ramp and the flippers would go dead and give me a bonus and the ball would drain. So I just looked at the trough switches, kind of gave them a little adjustment. Looked at the optos. They seem okay.
Hmm.
Little things like that. Switch
So
test.
mid-game, the flippers stop working, and
It would
then
bonus out like the ball drained. When the ball didn't drain, it would just bonus out. So what I was thinking was like maybe they were. Oh, I didn't check if they were magnetized. um, so sometimes if you get balls that are magnetized, when it kicks the ball out, they'll actually like hang back in the trough and not
mm,
roll.
sure, that's happened to my Metallica before.
Yeah. And then so I just want to see if these are got any kind of, they don't seem to.
Yeah, Dent, he said he just checked the trough switches and those are okay.
I readjusted them a little bit. I raised them up a little bit. But I did find on the connector, so I find this a lot, and I'm haven't done this yet, but I want to do it to all these games that have the opto boards on either side, and then there's the connectors that go into them. One of them will come like loose a little bit, and so like that's when like it'll kick out two balls at a time. It'll do this weird drain thing, and then you just like push them back in, and they're fine. So I just want to get hot glue and like hot glue them to the thing, so they don't pull out from the board. And then hot glue you can just peel off eventually. It's not like it's gonna hurt anything. It's for like all Spookies games that I've looked at, underneath all the connectors on all the boards have hot glue on them, keeping all the connectors where they should be.
Nice.
Especially in Scott Denise's games, because he's got so much freaking bass coming through his games.
Oh, the connectors like slowly jiggle the way out.
The bass will like, yeah, the bass will like rattle the connectors out.
Yeah.
Like he's got so much bass coming through his games. Like I have to put like 2 rounds of anti-rattle tape on the glass to make it like wedge in. Otherwise, like it's like when you hear a car rolling down the street and it's got the rattly license plate with all the bass, and it's like.
What do you put in to make the glass not rattle?
It's like the rattle tape, and it's like this little. I have a roll of it, but it's a really thin, like plastic tape that goes around the edge of the glass, and you just circle the glass once on both sides, and then it kind of wedges the glass in the holders, so it kind of fills the space, the little bit of space that's in between on these plastic edges, and just kind of makes it so the glass like wedges in there instead of just slides in. And then when the bass hits, you don't hear it rattling. You don't hear the glass rattling on the plastic and the metal, because it absorbs all that.
Yeah, I want to do that for Harley Davidson, because that shaker motor in that game is like, I mean, it's rattling the entire arcade.
Yeah,
it's no one's so much fun. I live to ride, ride to live.
Calm down, Cancer. Jeez. Game is so cool. Yeah, this guy and remember what it was. It was another no, it wasn't Deadpool. We had 2 George Gomez games on route side by side. That was my fun little bar lineup.
2 George Gomez games.
Yeah, we had 2 side by side.
Deadpool and Fast Break.
I mean, those are side by side right now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I didn't even mean to do that.
The eye rolls I get from my customers when I show them this is my George Gomez section. They're just so confused and uninterested in what I'm talking about. And I'm so proud. I'm like, all 4 of these games are by the same designer. He did this one first. This is his very last game. And these games are different eras of it. And they're like, can I get a beer?
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can.
Nice. I am thirsty.
Make it a Michelob. Dang it. All right, here you go.
Jesus. You're never gonna let that
sure
Michelob
you don't
thing
want to
go.
go micro? It's so good. Can I get a Michelob?
Can I get a Michelob? No.
Yes, you can.
Balls per game, back to 3.
Are you familiar with T3? I am not familiar.
Oh, I love T3. Well, I haven't played it, but like, I haven't owned one, but I love that game.
All the T's. Yeah, I've played it. The back glass ball shooter thingy. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that never really works, but I don't really care because like the rest of the gameplay is like super cool. I like it.
That part
When we
is
were up
cool
in
too.
Tacoma, is that where it was?
Northwest Pinball Show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was that one spot where they had the tournament on like Sunday night or Saturday night, but
Oh,
they had
yeah,
two
yeah.
free. What the hell was
Gotcha.
that place called?
Um, I forget.
Yeah,
Shorties?
me too.
No. Is
No,
that the
Shorty's
area?
was the no, it was across the way from. It was
It's a
further away
it's
than Shorty's.
it's one word. I know that the arcade is it's one word. Anyway, why do you ask, CNK? Do you have a repair question with it? Jupiter? No.
No, not Jupiter.
Now I have to look. No, I have to see.
Oops.
It was walking distance from the arcade. That place,
No, it
right?
wasn't. No, it was the one that we had to drive there. They had the hot dogs outside. Remember they had that hot dog vendor?
Did I go?
Yeah, all
So
y'all
many
went.
shows, man. All
Yeah, I know.
y'all of us?
Yeah, all of you went.
Oh, and it was super packed, and you couldn't even move. And then I
Yeah, yeah,
played pinball with this one lovely chick who had a pinball cat that travels
yes,
everywhere, and it's like the
yeah,
coolest pinball cat ever,
yeah,
and it lives in a little
totally.
bubble.
Yeah, little bubble bag.
Icebox? No, I don't know if that's it.
No, that
My who's
icebox was
just
in.
I don't think that's it. I gotta. Oh man, yeah, it's a really cool spot. Let's see.
Starts with a
24.
W, I think.
Yeah. Uh, It is called Triple Knot.
Triple knot. Jeez, not a W. T. You
It's
guys want to know
close.
what the pin golf holes were over the weekend?
Yeah, what are your pin golf holes?
So on Gophers, you had to start. Um, what's it called? Can't remember what it's called. Basically, rip off. You have to start rip off. So you had to tag that captive ball like 10 times, which is super freaking dangerous.
Oh,
It
wow,
was a
the one
nightmare.
right there at the front. You have to hit
Yeah,
that 10 times.
that guy.
Triple Knock is in Tacoma. Yes, we were talking about Tacoma. Sorry if we were not clear. At
Oh,
Northwest
yeah,
Pinball Show. It was
in
Tacoma. So
Tacoma.
many shows. So many shows.
And then
The
Cherry
soft plunge
Bell
kitty.
was you had to raise the up post. So,
Raise the up post
yeah. So,
on
oh,
Cherryville.
what camera you want? Up
What do you,
top?
I don't know. Which,
So,
yeah. I just had
there's
pinball.
says up post right here. And that's this little up post that pops up.
Mm,
So if you get, so it's like a slot machine, right? This is your cherry bells like a slot machine. So if
okay.
you hit two oranges, so you get these two scoops or saucers, this pops up. So all I had to do is get these two saucers. But this game, you don't like shoot straight for them. It's more like you bank off the side and it rolls around to this side. So you have to get your kind of bank shots down. So that's all that one was. Boys' night
Two
out.
shots. Two difficult
It could have
shots.
it could have been you could do it in two shots easily. Boys' night
Ooh,
out
nice.
is start Lady of the Lights multi-ball. So you had to hit this left horseshoe. Then this light would pop, like this light would light up and she would kind of light up a little bit for the pop bumper. Got to hit the pop bumper and then you got to go right to left. And then all these lights will light up. You hit one of those shots and it would start.
Nice. Boys Night Out is
Abracadabra.
fun. Game's awesome.
You had to get all your drop targets down once. So you have 10 drop
Nice.
targets. Get them
Nice.
all down
Did you get a hole
one
in one
time.
on that one?
No, I got a 3 on that one.
Ah, gross.
Star Trek, you had to complete one row.
Look at that game. So great.
So you had to like get
Oh, gotcha.
3 in
So
a
you had
row.
to complete 3 modes.
Hmm. Basically complete 3 modes solid. I got
That's pretty
2 on that
cool.
one.
That's pretty hard. Wow. Of course you did.
In Funhouse, you had to get all 3 of your steps lights blinking. So you had to spell steps. So you had to
Oh.
hit STEP like 4 times, 3 times. So you had to spell step. You could get one by going in this scoop. It would light like Frenzy or Funhouse Frenzy. But then you had to hit step, which is just aiming for like stand up. So it was just like horrible. But I figured out I got a 2 on this one as well. That I hit up the center, it fed to right here, and I was able to short flip and hit both these targets going this way. Figure that one out. That was pretty cool. Demo Man was actually not here. What was here? Oh, it was um, World Poker Tour was here, and we had to finish one hand on World Poker Tour. Dragon Fist.
What was the score? I mean, like what you had to play one hand, but
Yeah, you had
what?
to complete one hand
Oh, gotcha.
of
I thought you said you
frickin'
could only play with one hand.
oh no.
You only get
No, you
one
had to
hand to
complete
play.
yeah.
Like, so then what was the goal? Oh,
No, you had to complete a hand of Texas Hold'em. So like there's 2 ramp shots on it, and they're both lit for like the flop, the river, or the flop, the turn, and the river. So you had to hit pretty much 3 ramps, and you'd be done.
nice.
Dragon Fist was get 33 spins. So every time you hit the spinner, it counts down how many spins you get.
Oh,
And
it
then when
does
you
on
hit
the
it
backlash.
again, it
Nice.
counts up. So it says number of spins up on the backlash. And sounds easy, but getting control at the bottom can be kind of a pain on this game. And if you brick that spinner shot,
Mm,
you're most likely going to die. But I did get a hole in one on that one.
nice.
And
Solid.
then this monster was horrible. I
Mm.
don't think there were 2 people that actually completed this hole. So you needed to collect one robot to make one robot solid. But when you start the modes, so like you hit a combination of shots to start the mode, start a battle, or like start trying to collect one of the robots. It gives you a sequence of shots, and a lot of them is like Ironhide's like 9 shots, Ratchet's like 10 shots, and then it's timed and it times out. So you have a certain amount of time to try to get all 10 of those shots. Otherwise, it moves on to the next robot. And or if you start like Megatron, you could do Megatron and try to get a super jackpot. That would make Megatron solid, or Optimus Prime and get a super jackpot. That'll get Optimus Prime solid. And everyone got 6s because it was like this 5-ball game trying to get it done in 5 balls. And Shannon, I think
Gosh.
Shannon was the only one to get a 4. He did it in
Sweester?
4 balls. No, Shannon Miles
Oh,
from
MFT Shannon?
no from up in um, CCP. Shannon
Captain
Miles.
Crazy's Paradise? Just kidding.
Yeah. He did it in 4 balls, and he said he'd been watching people
So
all
many
day.
Shannons, I know. They need a death match. That's way too many
Yeah.
Shannons in that area.
I got it on ball 5. It was,
Mm,
and I had gone through all of the robots once already, and then ended up back at Ratchet while I started Optimus Prime multi-ball, and that's how I was able to freaking finish the thing. And I was in
nice.
multi-ball, and I saw it go solid, and I just walked away. I was like, fuck, I'm done with this damn thing. I had started modes. I was like cradling up, like hitting shots, and then they time out, and I started another mode, and I did that like 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 balls. It was like I started multiple balls or multiple modes. It was horrible. It's the worst challenge.
When we did our pin golf tournament for our grand opening, uh, I will admit that some of our objectives were pretty difficult, but the one that they kept complaining about because you had turned off ball save on my games, some of my games, and I kept them that way because it's better.
Oh.
Um, but the Star Wars, it was like start warp speed or whatever that is. You have to hit those 3 drop targets and then up the middle.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was just complaining that it was impossible. You have to hit it 3 times, 3 sets of drop target hits, and then up the middle. And they're like, no one can get it, no one can get it. And they're all like yelling at me.
Did
And
you like walk
then it
up on
was
ball
my
one
turn.
and just
Yeah.
like
And I walked up and I was like, no, it's like this. Choo, choo, choo. And like just flawlessly did it. And Daniel Spoler was
oh,
like mid-sentence, like, if you get all of these, I'm gonna give you a brand new pip. And then he couldn't finish saying pinball machines. So
because you like already
I
freaking
didn't, I
finished it.
should have waited a little bit and I could have had a free game.
Yeah. My
He's like,
God.
I bet you my next pinball machine, you're not getting this. Glenn says he had a blast last week. Glenn
Oh,
repping
awesome.
the On Tilt crew down in SoCal.
It was so
Yeah.
awesome to have you.
Yep. And we are
That was
collectively
fun.
disappointed in Lindsay for failing me.
Oh,
Not your
yeah.
fault, Glenn. You're cool.
Not your fault. It's all good. It's all good. I'll get it in what, 2 weeks? Be down there?
Right, because you're delivering games.
Yeah, I gotta drive Venom down there.
All right,
Got
we
to drive
lost track
Venom
of
down
what's
there.
going on.
Oh,
Oh, there.
now
Oh yeah, you're packing games. We
I'm gonna
see
pack up a
this
couple games.
fancy Escalera table here. That's
Um, yeah,
giant.
I'm going to rent Jurassic Park. I wonder. I should have asked him if he wanted me to take the lightning clippers off of it.
Well, but I mean,
He did play it as it sat.
is it going to someone's house or is it going to, right?
Someone's house.
So they would
Yeah.
just have it on free play? Then no, it's good
Yeah.
to have him on because it's gonna make him a better player.
Just gotta play better. Practice, practice, practice until we start the league next
And
month.
if he really wants to see the end of the game, there's a hack for that.
Yeah, it's called Buy It From Me.
Yeah, or
And
like
you can,
take the glass off.
yeah. We can do the new bar challenge. Do the wizard mode. You can just get straight to it.
Mm, yes. Oops. We're not gonna do that screen. All right, everybody in the chat, how are y'all doing? Matthew is going to be, we're gonna watch him pack up some games, get a few tips and tricks of how to quickly move pinball machines from one place to the other. But in the meantime, drop in the chat any tech stuff y'all are working on, any pinball repair journeys you've gone on, or if you're stuck and need help, now is a great time to drop your question in the chat because maybe Matthew can answer it for you, or maybe some of the other amazing folks in our chat that are also very technically skilled in the pinball land could also come in with an assist so we can keep these games running nice. And the question is, did Kyle get a new house yet?
Yeah. I heard he did.
We all love and miss Kyle. Yes, Kyle is doing well. getting acclimated in the cold, cold Chicago weather. We wish him all the luck. And he has a Red Bull in his fridge for me that I left at his house like 5 months ago. And he's such a good friend that he's still holding on to it for me. And it even traveled all the way from South Carolina up to Chicago. That's
Wow.
how dedicated of a person he is. It's like,
He even brought your Red
bro,
Bull.
you can just give it to me. He's like, no, this is your Red Bull that you bought, and it'll be here when you come to my house in Chicago. Like,
All right.
thank you. DNK got a lift table for Christmas. Brr, 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 brr. That's
Nice.
awesome. Santa treated you right, even though you're on the naughty list, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah, yeah.
Something I should have brought myself 10 years ago. Yeah, the lift table is a pretty amazing tool. How do you like your Escalera?
It
Um,
is the greatest thing that's ever been bought for me.
Best
It's
tool.
fantastic. It is fantastic.
Watch it in action. I still can't get over when they prototyped this Escalera, prototyped this lift table. They had a toolbox on it
Yeah,
and LED lights,
yeah.
underbody lights that you would
The
turn on with
ground
a switch.
effects.
So it was the coolest thing, y'all. I totally understand at the final design why they took both of those off, but bring back the LED lights. It's so much fun. Completely useless and
Little
impractical,
aftermarket
and
mod you
probably
can put
got in
on
the
there.
way and added costs that were unnecessary, but boy, did it look cool. It
Yeah, it
just
was
like
pretty
go to the
wicked.
music. Did it look like a tank? Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it was
It
brutal.
was pretty beefy, and now this
It
is
was,
super skinny and can fit compactly in your arcade or van.
yeah, it was very heavy too.
Mm. But you can also, I think they also offer different powder coating options too. You can
Hmm.
customize yours if you want, and you can say, bring me a neon pink and green one. And then
Yeah,
they'll build it with you with the powder coated on it, and then you could just be just the coolest technician in your area with your fancy colors.
a little rappy. Okay,
Hmm.
the strap. And Corey gets to get his laser cue back, and he's renting Jurassic Park. So his family over the holiday week can battle each other out in the side room.
Very cool. Oops. Why do I didn't mean to click that. Just taking a look at your floor, just for fun. Sees. That's pretty cool. Base Tone asked, has Lynn's Foo had any major maintenance issues? Has your Foo Fighters
Foolie,
Ellie, better known as
Foolie.
Foolie, how's it holding
No,
up? How's it
like
faring?
it's been
Yes,
fine.
limited edition.
Yeah, it's
The Foolie
oh,
and the Foo
I've had some like funky stuff with the Overlord. I had to like pull the
Let's
optos
see who
out
that is.
of the Overlord and um reflow solder on the actual like
Troubleshooting.
um, reflow solder on the opto boards because the wires for the optos and the wires connected to the opto boards were like kind of loose.
Hmm.
But the way they designed it is fantastic because it's literally like 4/4 inch nuts and the whole opto like there's like a bracket that's like a U-shaped bracket that the optos sit on that like slide into the play field, so it just pulls out. You just unplug it, pulls out, you can work on it, you can put it back in, and it's 4 screws and you're done. It's pretty wicked.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
very well designed.
Yeah,
Very well designed.
keeping y'all in mind of like if this needs
Yeah,
to be worked on, how's the fastest and easiest way a tech can get this out of the game?
yeah, instead of
And
like the old Williams or like older games that have optos where you're like, I have to take apart this entire game just to get to that opto.
it's funny when something like that happens at the arcade and I'm not there. My dad calls me and he's like, "There's this screw that's loose and jiggling on the playfield. I can't get to it underneath, but it's buried by like ramps and plastics and other mechs. How do I
Yeah.
get to this thing?" And I'm like,
Take
well,
it apart.
hate to tell you. Yeah. Layer by layer by layer by layer. Get to
Like when I
that.
took apart your demo man, it was just like, oh my God,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
so
And
much stuff.
the controllers on the side is like
Yeah, it's
a
just
little
so much
puzzle in
stuff. And
itself.
everything like when you put it back
Yeah,
together, like
posts that
the
are hard to
ramps are
get
like
to. God.
snaked together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Get you back. Uh, you get me? You good?
Yes.
Okay. One of my headphones died.
Oh
Couldn't hear
no.
anything.
Oh no.
Mm. Okay.
How did you do that so fast?
Do what?
Get that game ready. Okay.
And slide it. And it's got this fancy seatbelt. Lock it down. No.
Mr. J. Crane asked if my dad is technically inclined. Does he have a tech background? He does have a electronics background. And he is a great problem solver by nature. So he does well in learning for sure. And he works on all of our arcade games too. So, we do a lot of the video arcade and the pinball. So he's all sorts of dabbling. He's kind of an amazing person. Super, super. Oh, that's a good question. What's going in Jurassic Park spot?
Nothing. I'm gonna move prawn over to it
Absolutely nothing. A
because
lifetime supply
we
of nothing. Oh, you're making an
um,
alleyway?
yeah,
You're rebuilding your alleyway?
yeah, because Seaside Champ, I like to have 40 games in here for the sake of having 4 backups in
Hmm.
case things do break. I have a game that people can move to. Um, But after Seaside Champ is done, we go back to 38.
Nice.
But then I get to show you guys the omnidirectional wheels on this bad boy.
I like that it can slide, right? Does it still slide?
That's the omnidirectional wheels I was just talking about. So
Yeah, I
when I
like
get
that the
Sean,
omnidirectional wheels let it slide. Can we get a close-up shot on that?
yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna do that. I
Mhm.
gotta modify your rig so we can get a handheld in there
Yeah.
so we can get low. Oh yeah, okay, I see. You're just gonna do straight up slide. He's gonna slide. Watch this, y'all.
Uh, Easy peasy.
Wow. I should have played like really exciting epic music with that on
I know.
stream.
But yeah, that's makes life easy. The one thing it does do, like they were like, you can attach it to your stair climbing dolly with the game attached to it. I was like, awesome. So I did that. Heavy. It is so heavy. To even get the game like up, like on the wheels is like so much. Like I have to like kick my leg out, jump backwards, pull. it's it's not light. The guy that was doing it on the video was bigger than me.
Sidewinder wheels, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a yeah. I think so. Base Toad asked, it doesn't need to be a question in person, was asking if you would ever run a stern home pin at your arcade,
Uh,
since everything is free
maybe
play
that,
anyway.
maybe that Jack Daniels Jurassic Park. That was pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
was gonna say if I got a hold of Jack's Jurassic Park, absolutely run a home pin.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put an arcade one up in my arcade if
You put
there's
a one up
something
in your
you like.
arcade?
I mean, no, because I don't have space, but if I had a reason to, I would not feel any remorse from doing so. It's not, I'm not above putting an arcade one up in my arcade.
I
They're
mean, just the
fine.
fact that the only problem is you just
If they
can't
have a game that
fix
I
them.
really want people to play in my arcade, I'll put it in there.
You just can't fix them. That's the only problem. The one
Right,
up breaks,
that's true.
it's done.
When they
It's
break,
done.
you buy a new one, and that's like
Yeah,
from arcade one-up manufacturers. Or like, we
yeah,
provide no support, just buy a new one from Walmart. Thank you, and have a
yeah,
nice day.
yeah. This is broken. What do I do? Throw it
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, talk to me.
You
Faceton.
go do.
Faceton wants to put their Jurassic Park home in Lens.
Oh, huh, cool. Oh, shit, that'd be fun. Be fun for a little bit. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Matthew's gonna go load another game, but we are out of time on our stream, and uh, it's been great. Thanks for spending time with us, Matthew.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
gonna let you keep working, and we're gonna go do other stuff with our lives.
Sweet.
Also pinball related, just not
Thought
at
there was like
Lens.
less tech stuff than I normally have to do.
It was a good
Very,
chat. This would make a good podcast episode of,
yeah,
talking about all the repairs we did. They came with solutions too, so
yeah,
it's
totally.
stuff, food for thought, pinball
Right.
chat. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Question for Matt, real quick. If here, oh, if we were not streaming, would you be cranking music?
Yes. There'd probably be either some drum and bass going on or some house music, most likely. Something
You got a
upbeat.
nice with lots of exclamation points. Yes. Maybe he'll bust out his turntables and be like, wiggle wiggle pinball. Right? That's how it goes.
Someday, someday.
Biggest little arcade, thanks for hanging out with us. I'm
Yeah, Mike, thanks
looking
for hanging out, dude. That's fucking rad.
Twitch. We are
Mr.
going
Huntsman.
to
Oh, hey, I need
yeah.
that night moves. Hit me up.
Night moves.
He's got a night
Yeah.
moves for me. There, that'll go in the spot in the walkway. Yeah, right in the
Yeah. Does
middle.
it have the extended cocktail riser?
No, I want it low. I definitely want it like a cocktail. It does not. It's just a low version.
Said cool, you got it. Dang.
Dope.
I'll pay you double for whatever he's gonna give you for
Wow.
if you bring it to LA
Snaking me
for
out
me.
of this deal
But when I
already.
say bring
Jeez
it to
Louise.
LA to me, Michael, I'm talking about Lower Alabama. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Jeez
Thanks y'all for
Louise.
hanging out. We're gonna rate. I know I'm totally gonna steal this from you. Pinballers. Does this thing work down here? Your little fancy widget?
Should.
Look at that. They are, where is Pinballers? Pinballers is
Let's say they're Portland or something.
in Canada.
Canada.
That's
Was
right.
going in the
Awesome.
right direction.
Let's go to Canada. Manu
Yeah.
was streaming. I didn't see Manu on there, but now I'm committed to going to Canada, so we'll have to catch up with Manu next week. Um, so yeah, we're gonna raid that and we will see y'all later. Have a happy holidays. Yeah, for real. Let's raid.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Do it.
Matthew. Thank you for your service and your
No
time.
problem. It's what's fun.
Did they raid? I don't know if that
Do they ring?
right now. Get out of here. Get out of here.
All
Maybe.